Is it alive? Are you alive? Can you hear me? That, as ever, is pretty much the question that happens every single time somebody inevitably starts a live stream. Hello, Internet. Or Sup Worlds. Hello. Welcome back. This is a thing. This is a thing now. This is fun. Hello. Part 3 of the BabyBelt Pro build. I mean, what else is there to say? It's a thing that is occurring. Yes. So in the last stream, let's do an overview as to where we got to. Hello Veds 3D World. How are you doing? Yes. In the last stream, we put together, assembled a gantry that doesn't look suspicious in any way, shape, or form. I didn't have the toothed pulleys to put on it, at which point I had to, call it because I couldn't exactly progress any further. I have since found pulleys, so we can carry on. In terms of other parts of the printer, we've got the main base assembled, the belt correctly in place, an extruder, and while I was searching for the toothed pulleys to put onto the NEMA 11 motors, I found the switch. So I did correctly and sufficiently raid Rob's parts. Thank you, Rob. I've also noticed in the build guide, it doesn't actually from the Fabrico build guide, which I should have I should have it on display while I'm talking about it. Let me see if I can find an easy one to claim. Let's do this. Paste it as a duplicate. There we go. Haha. Whilst I was going through this build guide and checking out what parts I need to do today, I've noticed that they don't seem to include a Raspberry Pi in here. I see no mention of a Raspberry Pi, which makes me think that this is a Marlin-based build. I'm not doing Marlin. Me and Marlin, I say we don't get along. Marlin terrifies me because you're constantly reflashing mainboards, and that just makes me nervous. So I don't. I flash the boards once with Clipper, and then I'm done. So yeah, I'm just going to do that. I have a Pi 02 that I can use, or if I feel like being exotic, I do have a Big Tree Tech Pi that I could use instead. We'll see. We will see. I would probably go with the Pi 02W because I stole it from Rob. So there we go. And speaking of there we go, this is the point that I got to. Give or take. A little bit more. There. When installing the GT2 belts, try to get them as tight as possible. When you first install them. This will make it easier to get the right tension later. You can pre-cut the belts to 480 and 290 and trim them down when finishing, or you can run a much longer length. Yeah, I've got leftovers. I've got, well, this gantry original hot end assembly came off the BabyBelt Pro XL. So it's got a longer, the Pro XL will not exist, so yeah. I was right with my speculation, by the way. It was it was because the belt was curling at the edges, give or take, and that just made it awkward. Like me looking at this camera. But yes, oh, Veds3D, you say you like Clipper. I too like Clipper. What? Here's the question though. What are you running your Clipper on yourself? What printers do you have? While I try to work out a good way to position everything so that I can see everything. Because hey, I'm daft. I don't know why I seem to be daft at the moment, but hey, let's just do that. Canvas. No. Scale to window. There we go. So I've got that. I can see chat properly. Haha, I can see you. And in theory, you can see me and hear me. Still. Sorry about that. So there we go. Right. Let's begin. Let's start with putting the pulleys onto the NEMA 11s and stuff it. I'm going to sit down for this. And there we go. Ah, haha. Right. Where did I put? I just had them. I dropped them somewhere over here. No, I didn't. Great start. You know, you do your introduction, you catch everybody up where you've been, and then you lose where you put stuff. Oh, it's because I threw them into the base of the printer that you can't currently see because it's there underneath the guide. So the two NEMA 11 motors, which, let's get the right one. The two NEMA 11 motors, which I got courtesy of Zura, have actually got removable cables, which are really quite convenient. I have an Ender 3 running clipper, same, a Tronxy X5 SA, and an Ender Extender 300 XL. Creality high, Elegoo Centauri carbon, but I'm considering putting Open Centauri onto it. Centauri onto it. I also have an A1. The Ender Extender, I've seen those around, as in I've just seen them. How are they as a build? I don't imagine it's too dissimilar to the, what's it called? The end, was it the Ender 5 that was the large one? The large bed slinger? No, it was the CR10 that was the large bed slinger. I imagine it's not too dissimilar. I could be wrong. I don't know. So we've got one that way. Do we have the other one the other way? Or are they both the same direction? It doesn't say. Or I'm not reading. I found it great and really easy to build. Yeah, CR10. Yeah, I thought so. I would have imagined it wouldn't be too dissimilar to a CR10. I have a SKR Mini E3 V3 on my Ender 3, and that in itself is also running Clipper. Because, as I said, I get nervous flashing boards repeatedly with Marlin. Really hope that these pulleys fit, by the way. They are just arbitrarily random pulleys that I have just located in the stash. Right. So one pulley on there. Oh, good shout. Good shout on the E3 V3. They're really convenient. for an I say an all-in-one board, the M4P, M5P Manta series from Big Tree Tech are more, in my opinion, all-in-one. In the sense of you have the clipper host on there as well, which is always nice. That is not the one that I wanted. Are you kidding me? Right. Switch to the ones that I know are more correct. I don't know the difference between these two pullers, these two sets of pulleys. They look the same, they're sized the same, I imagine they are the same. But I don't trust myself, so I'm just going to not. Now, is there any difference between the grip screw size? Yes, they're using different grip screw sizes. Is there a different one in there? Yeah, they're the same size. Right. That one goes away. Let's try again. Get the right size Allen key. Put this Allen key back. So is this your first time dropping in, Veds? If you don't mind me calling you Veds. If so, welcome. Just like everybody else who has joined since I've started. Hello. I'm back at it again, building that there BabyBelt Pro. I do know you. Veds. Is this now going to be the game where I try to figure out where I know you from? Yes, to people who are joining, it's once again that there BabyBelt Pro. Seeing if I can get it. We have a common. Common interest? Common enemy? I don't imagine an enemy. Stupid lament. There we go. Get it in the right place. Make sure the grub screw is on the flat face of the motor shaft. And then look away as you tighten it down, because that makes sense. Flat face is there. Looking around my phone camera. Because, hey, I'm still not used to looking at my hands through my phone. It's really strange. It is genuinely strange. Like, I don't know how else to say it other than you're looking through a portal to yourself to then do the things that you're trying to do. And because you're going from binocular vision to a single thing, you then lose your depth perception, which is really weird. Really weird. So, motor pulley's on. Install the X motor into the gantry in the position closest to the hot end. The X is at the top? Okay. X is at the top. Sure, that makes sense. That makes sense. Huh? Run the belt through the X gantry and around the Y pulley and around the pulley. But that says to me that then this would be the X-axis, and then that's the Y-axis, and then the belt is the Z. Cataract. Viduko. Are you Viduko? If so, hello, and I hope you're recovering nicely. Nicely, well. I hope you're recovering well. Put that somewhere there. Oop, sorry. Plonk that there. And then I need to find the M2.5s, which should be in this pile over here. M8 nuts. M2.5. Going great. Just lots of eye drops. I can only imagine the number of eye drops that you're on for that and such, but I'm glad it went well. Like, genuinely glad it went well. I don't want to cut the belt just yet. I want to get the motor fastened down and in place. So that way, I can then cut the belt. Because I just want to get it in place. Because I don't want to lift it up and have it fall on me. I say fall on me. Naturally, it's not going to fall on me unless it's above my head. Which would be very silly. Very silly indeed. So let's keep going. This is very... I mean, this isn't the worst assembly I've had to deal with. My own printable printers are substantially worse than this. So it's two screws, 4 eye drops, four times a day for a week, 3 times a day. Forgive me for this question, but can you taste them? Having had to take eye drops in the past, I could taste them, and it was very weird. Very, very weird. And I'm probably going far too far with that question. Okay, glad it's not just me that can taste through their eyes. There's got to be, I mean, I would assume sinuses, right? It's like a sinus connection. Because that would make sense. Yeah. I'm glad it's not just we're not alone in the weird gift of tasting eye drops. They could at least make them taste nicer. Right. Come on, Doug. There we are. Right. That's the belt in place. Well, not the belt, the motor in place. The belt goes around the pulley, which you can just about see in there, I would hope. Awkward shot. Right there. There's the pulley. So there we go. And now I can trim this belt. So let's go for something, trim it down a bit. I'm going to go here, I think. I'll just take that bit off now. There. And can I thread it through, or is it just clipped? Why don't I look at the instructions? Right. Because I've not removed the original one that was on there. Why would I do that? Why would I remove the original belt that was in place that is supposed to be the one that I trimmed, or should I say the side that I trimmed, rather than the actual... Yes, that. Because that then gets tightened in place and that clips in there. I could just not trim that. I've got plenty of belt. Famous last words, isn't it? Oh, I've got plenty of belt. Do you though, Doug? Do you genuinely have plenty of belt to deal with this? The answer is yes, I do. Why? Why what, Josh? Why would I trim the belt? Why would I read the instructions? Why would I cut twice, measure thrice? Cut twice, measure thrice. I love that. So let's trim even more off. Eyeball it. So here's the thing. Outsourced responsibility. None of you lot told me I shouldn't do it. None of you said that I shouldn't trim it. Yeah, when in doubt, print a block. But this isn't a print a block baby belt. That's later. Oh. There we go. There's what is supposedly the x-axis. Although that should be y. I feel like this is the y, not the x. Cut the belt so that it fits into the remaining teeth, secure it in place with a zip tie. No, I did it the other way. So then we get this, I suppose. Right. Thread the belt, teeth outwards. Let's use this surplus piece of belt that was courtesy of Dale. Is that going to be enough? That's plenty. That's plenty. Run the belt for the x-axis as seen below, going through the lower hole on the right. Well, this x-axis is different. So there's that. So I think I should stop saying the word so and make it up as I go along. Through the gap. I plonk that there. What does this say to me? What does this make me feel other than a little bit confused? I can't have it that way. It'll be this way. Yeah, it is. It is indeed. And then we do this bit here, through this hole, and then whoop. Yes, I did say whoop. Grab the bag of bits. The infamous, I say infamous, the bag of bits, where we have the bed remaining. Sorry, not the bed mount. And then belt clips, potentially belt clips. Would that go through there? Like that? Because it looks like it fits. How about I read the instructions that don't look like they entirely apply? Yep, yep. Ooh, and a hazelnut. That's a terrible joke there, Josh. You should feel ashamed. And yes, I too am happy to see everybody here today. Thank you once again to everybody who has turned up. I don't know why you're putting yourself through it, but it's appreciated. As you can see, we are once again on that BabyBelt Pro train. Wow. BabyBelt Pro train. We are on the conveyor to see if we can get this thing finished, or at least physically assembled and majority wired up today. I'm not incredibly confident on getting the wiring finished because the ribbon cable I've got for my screen is too short. But in the off hours between streams, I have found the limit switch that was required. So that's good. Alongside that, I've found the correct wire to do the soldering job from the limit switch to the barrel jack to then go to the main board. I've got the right kind of wire for it that is sufficiently strong. The right power rating, so I can now do that as well. But back to the build. Let's put this clippy bit over into here, which I suspect holds the belt in place. So if I just pinch that, yes, it does. Huzzah! And if I was to take a guess, because M10 3mm screws, and there is nowhere, I should say, to slot a nut in place, so yeah, let's just find the M10 3mm, which are in this pile over here. Yes, pinch it, huzzah. And Josh, putting Allen keys back once you're not using them, it's a novel concept, isn't it? I'm blocking the shot. And this is where I do this, and then I'm just decide, no, I'm not doing it. I'm just going to use the screwdriver. Get the thing in the thing. Depends on how much you hate yourself. Depending how much you hate yourself. I don't. At the moment. No, I don't. I'm good. I am good. Is that actually biting down or not? Am I imagining that there is no screw hole, nut hole placement? Potentially. Oh. Oh, that is strange. So what I am seeing here is a questionable has my printer messed up the print? Because I don't foresee it's being set out like this to then have screws through here to then hold the belt. I don't imagine that. I also don't imagine that it would be screwing into nothing, because there's no screw hole there. Let's go around to the other side. So there's no, they're just blanks where it looks like the screws sit into and don't do anything. That is weird. Or I've forgotten this. Now, does that fit? No. Does that go here? No, I am confused. Now, what? 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 This belt tensioning thing's different, Rob. What are you doing to me? It zip ties it into a noose. So you're telling me that I put more through, put it on, and then it fastens like that? Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're telling me? Loop it through and bring it backwards inside. That doesn't feel right. That really doesn't feel right. Scroll down in directions and see the noose. I see this, but this is a different assembly. This is a different assembly to how I've got it. BabyBelt Pro documentation. Pro V2 build guide. Physical build, frame, extruder, rollers, Z-motor, X-carriage. Yep, yep. Here we go. Let's go scrolly, scrolly, scroll. Next, next. Done that. Done that. Let's use the right build guide, folks. Jeez. To be fair, I didn't do too bad following the build guide for the Fabrico kit. This is on me. This is on me. Right. Yep, we've got that bit, we've got that bit, we've got that. I don't have that specifically, but eyeballs. I'm not blaming Rob for me being daft. So that's in place. Okay. Oh, I did it backwards, did I? Run. Yeah. So, yeah, I did it backwards. I did it backwards. I think. So let's undo this. Jeez. Oh, screw's not coming out. Let's give it a bit of something to bite onto. It's not just when in doubt print a block, it's when in doubt make your own threads. Don't make your own threads. That's how you break things. Then you end up with multiple social media platforms that you need to look after. Sorry, that was terrible. I apologize. Right. Try again. Try again. Push the belt, blah, 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 blah. Right. Have I skipped anything up here that talks about? So it's not in place there. LDO tool board. Well, I'm not using an LDO tool board. X carriage GT2. So you're telling me you are telling me thread this through here. Look around the camera so you can see what you're doing. Put that through there. Pull it there. Is that what you're telling me? Is that it? Because it's here, and you can screw through to adjust the tension. And then for some reason that goes on there. But it doesn't go around. But it doesn't fit. What? What? Oh, scroll down a bit further, Doug. Gee. Oh my word. Come on. That's something. Okay. Okay. Yep. So that goes there, that goes there. Something like that. And then that makes a sandwich. You sandwich the belt. Yeah, you sandwich the belt. There you go. I've zoomed in for you now. You can see better. So it's M3 and M3. So I need 4 M3 nuts. So there's 4. I've got the 2 M3 by 10s from earlier. And I need 4 more M3 by 10s. Are you still sane, Exile? No, fellow Exile, I am not sane. I am on the same axis still. Because that thing, as I gesture in front of me, that thing does both the X and the Y. Fun times. So one of those, and then that goes on that side, that goes on that side. And then you struggle, you get your hands in the way, and then you make sure nobody can actually see what you're doing. That's how it works, right? We put things together and we make sure that we block every perceivable viewing angle so that nobody can see what it is we're doing. Okay. Let's try again for the 4th time. So hello, Reliance. I'm glad you could join us. We have got a few people in today, and a few new people, and a few others. I'm glad that everybody has decided to join me for breakfast, or lunch, or your evening meal, whichever time-appropriate greeting is suitable for you. Good day. That wasn't a goodbye, that was a good day. Heck yes. It is awesome. I'm really grateful that everybody is deciding to turn up and watch me struggle. Fine motor skills. Who needs them? Nobody needs fine motor skills when you do things on video. Why would you? Hi. I just found this channel. Well, 24/7 Hinky. Hello to you. I'm glad you just found this channel. How did you find this channel, if you don't mind my asking, and how are you? What's for lunch or breakfast? Because, you know, breakfast streams. That way. That way? No, that way. Which means that way, which means, huh? What? For goodness sake, Doug. You, Josh, you're the one that's going to bring up that I'm doing it right. No. Oh. You lot are mean. Tell them they're mean, please. Oh, why? Why are you so mean to me? Yeah, it does take a village to raise an idiot. You're the village, right? Just popped up in the YouTube window. Well, hey. I'm glad you stopped by and decided to say hello. Da, 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 da. Try for the 5th time. Something like that. Something like that. Sliding it off camera unintentionally. I'm not always this bad. Just usually. Alright. It looks like a silly face. Yeah? This looks like a silly face. And this looks like a silly face. Yeah? Do we all agree? Have I got it right this time? Yes, the printer is mocking you. It already is mocking me. It's going to be great when it comes to configuration. Because holy shindigs, this is going to... Right, yes. So we're all in agreement that I've got it right this time. Oh. This is great. I'm loving this. Thank you. Da, 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 da. Right. There we go. There we go. Oh, that's horrible. It's brilliant, but it's horrible. So I could have left it in place this whole time. It would have been more difficult to install, but I could have done it. screw in there. And then hope that you lot can still see what I'm doing as it slides out of frame once again. So 24/7 Hinky, if you're still here. What printers do you have? Do you have any 3D printers? So pull that down. Plop the motor in place. And then take the belt, move that piece because I don't need it anymore. Spin. Bump the camera because it's always good to bump the camera. Trim. Inverted belt printer found on accident. Yep. It would be mildly inverted. Put the excess bit of belt away. Because I can build so many things with this piece of belt. Right. Something like that. Something like that. Nope. Something like that. Make a sandwich. Get the framing so nobody can see what it is you're doing. Make the sandwich, put the nut on the other side. Struggle. 2 3D printers, one of which is home built, and 2 resin, currently working on a homemade laser cutter. Ooh. Ooh, how big? And when you say, when you say home built, is it a custom design or is it based on anything in particular? And what do you print? Sorry, I'm asking all of the questions, but like, that's really cool. Slidey, slide, 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 slide. Get the thing on the other side of the thing. Make the sandwich, put the nut on the back, move the scissors out of the way because why would you leave the scissors where you don't need them? Move it back into camera shot. I do say this is my descent into madness. So you're all privy. You're all, what's the word I'm looking for? Co-conspirators, perhaps. Right. Then that goes in there. Then the screw goes in. Blah blah blah. Something like that, and that is far too much slack. X-axis pivot arm. M3 by 20, not M3 by 3.5 foot by 1.5 foot. Haven't told the wife yet. Well, I won't say anything if you don't. 3.5 feet. So 1 meter by 40. So 1,000 by 40? Or 100 by 40-ish? Yeah? Yeah? Nice! Very nice. So let's come. So that's by 20s, not by 10s. How many things am I going to have to undo as I do this because I'm not reading properly? And the answer to that is yes. And we'll stop skipping ahead and read stuff. Try again. For the 9th time, to get the right size screw to do the thing that I need to do in the first place. M3 by 20 goes into the X pivot arm. There. Now it's properly attached. Which also means I need to redo this one that's not in shot. Wait, don't just drop. Don't just drop. Stop, drop, and read. Stop, drop, and read. Don't drop, just read. Yeah. 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 I agree. I agree. So, 2 3D printers, one which is hand built, 2 resin. Currently work on a homemade laser cutter. Is this, if you don't mind my asking, is this collection for the fun of it, or is this work related? Your collection? Spin, spin, spin. Get the thing. Get out. There we go. And then put the thing back in the thing. Yes. There we go. Now to tension this. Which I suppose means I need to undo one of these or 2 of these a bit to then hobby only. Yep. It's a good hobby. It's horrible, but it's fantastic. It's a time sink, but it's great. Because what else are you supposed to do? I say that. I come from an IT background, so my hobby previously was servers and stuff, and now I'm here. Which is great, I suppose. Which go outside and touch grass? No! No one wants to touch grass. It's dirty. Animals urinate on it. Nobody wants that. It's gross. Tensioning this is not great. Yeah, I come from an IT background originally, so this is what I do for fun. However, IT still keeps finding a way to make its way into this. So recently, I've been playing with a piece of software called homebox.software for doing an inventory of all of the printer nonsense that I've acquired, and I like it. It's quite nice. It's a little self-hosted home scale inventory management system, and I feel like I should probably do, I feel like I should attempt to do a video on it. And if that's something that people would be interested in, let me know. Fun King 3D. I think it was Fun King 3D channel all them years ago. Just do it. Yeah, I suppose I will. Because someone's going to find it useful. Right. Almost got the belts back in. Will that drop in just a little bit? No, it'll drop in a little bit too far. goodness sake. Get out. Get out. Leave, you dastardly fiend. Dastardly fiend. Get out. I banish you. Ugh. It's stuck. It's stuck. There. Right. 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 Dude. Come on. Come on. No! Why? Why are you being mean? Reliance, why are you being mean? Get out. Not you. The nut. Fell into silly place to then try to position it back into place, to position it into place again while the belt's in tension and it's there and I need it slightly over and focus. The tongue's not coming out to focus. I refuse. I will do this. It will work. You go somewhere here. No, here. Yes. And then it goes over just a little bit. Nobody sneeze. Nobody sneeze. Nobody sneeze. No! No! There's got to be an easy way to do this. Because I need the belt tensioned. No! Ah! Just. Yes, fine, you can cough. Fun. I'm trying to think. I know the name Fun King 3D, and I don't know where from. Where do I dropped it. I dropped the nut. And I realized that it fell off. Magnetize the tools? Maybe. Try again. Move the camera. You go somewhere here. Yes, round 2. You go somewhere there. Lifty, lifty. Nope. Yes. Oh, so what is this you're building? Oh, sorry. I thought I'd said. This is a BabyBelt Pro from a chap known as Rob Mink or Printcepts. It is a transition to a different camera shot, pick up the legacy version, and then hold it up in front of the camera. This is the BabyBelt. This is the original version of the BabyBelt. Whoop. Let's turn off that window overlay because we don't need it. No, wrong shot. This one, this one, this one. This is the original BabyBelt. It is like the Creality CR30. It's a belt printer and it goes infinitely. So you can do really, really long snakes. You can mass produce stuff that fits into a 100 by 100 build area. And it's an open design. You can get a kit from Fabrico. I want to say it's Fabrico that you can get the kit from. I should really know this. Get my keyboard. You can go to babybelt.pro. Babybelt.pro. And you'll be able to put the thing back on screen, move over. You can get a kit from Fabrico or West 3D. Let's go to Fabrico because, hey, why not? And let's see if they've got it in shot. In shot. In store. More printers. No. I don't see it. Whoop. Babybelt.pro, West 3D. BabyBelt Pro. And this kit is by Rob Mink. And it, as I say, it's an infinite Z-axis 3D printer. So you've got your Ender extender, I think. No, it's not you with the Ender extender, it's Faduco with the Ender extender. Yeah, you can go all the way. I'm so good with words today, this is great. Sorry. Why am I am just bad with words today. So bad with words. But you know, you can do... Well, my plan with it is, because I've got a small issue with printer block, my plan is to modify the BabyBelt Pro to have a slightly different axis, a slightly different angle to print at, and then just keep churning out printer block, make ridiculously long ones, like a how big, like a 1x16. So a 1x16 block, so it's even bigger to do more structural stuff. That would be quite fun. Getting one of these kits is on my list, about 5 things down, but it's on my list. Getting one of these kits has been on my list for many, 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 many years, since I found the original BabyBelt, the legacy version, built with 28 BYJs and 3mm rods. Ever since I saw that, I wanted one. So I finally went, when I went to 3D Printopia last year, I raided Rob's hardware drawers and just helped myself. He let me into his house. He was very silly for doing that. But what can you expect from people that are just genuinely lovely people? Like, genuinely lovely. Right. I'm hoping I mildly answered your question. I really hope that I did. I have no idea if I did. Let me know. Right. Back to it. I'm down here. There we are. Hello. So that's that motor in that's that screw in place. Then it's the 2.5s. 2.5 screws again. You don't like to go outside when you need to be, and you need to be invited. Are you a vampire? Right. Moving on. Gantry compilation. Does it tell me to put the motor on yet? No. Yes, it did. Do, 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 do. M2s, M2.5, 25 M3 nuts. These are 50 by 6, 5 by 3 by 10s, 20s, M8s, M2.5. Nice one, Herzl. Count Dugula. I like that one. Right. Put your Allen keys away so that you can find them later. I have no idea how to tell, I should say, if that thing is even correctly on the thing. If the belt's correctly on the pulley. There is no decent way to see. This is finicky, but it is what it is. It's fun though, I'm not complaining. This whole thing is not a complaint. Why am I hunched? Ugh. I know why, because your eyes are in the way. I'm looking through your eyes. This is your perspective that I'm seeing. That's a really fun way to say it. Is it being a wet noodle? No, it's not being a wet noodle. It's more the doing the whole I'm looking through something that's not my eyes comment again. Seems to be today's theme. Perspective is weird. Perspective is weird. But having other people's perspective is a benefit. Being able to go to people and get their thoughts and opinions on things is incredibly useful. So I'm sure that things will adjust. One moment, please. Ah! I didn't fall over. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, perspective. People's perspectives, thoughts and opinions, thoughts on stuff that it is that you're trying to do. You know, taking in feedback from people, because feedback isn't always criticism. Feedback can be positive, and it's nice having people's brains that you can borrow. Like I'm borrowing the brain of Rob when I make this. Like I'm viewing I'm viewing things as he's created it in some ways. It's weird. And your perspective is this. There we go. Motors on. Is that in place? Yeah. Haha. 2 motors, 2 axes, X and Y. There we go. Ta-da! Finally. Finally! Finally! Gosh. Done it. Right. On to the next bit, which is have a drink. If you haven't had a drink, have a drink. Go on. Take a sip. I'll wait. Pivot arms, done. Motor, done. Gantry completion. Before the gantry is complete, before the gantry is attached, it is helpful to pre-place a couple of zip ties and install them very loosely. Do not cinch them down. One zip tie goes inside the screen mount, pointed out by the key in the below image. This holds the wires coming in from the X and Y motors. Motors. Motor cables. Install another zip tie, again in a very loose, in one of the holes of the opening of the right side of the screen mount. This will hold the wires coming from the hot end. Okay. And I guess that makes life easier. Well, where are they? Because all I see is a hole. I don't see zip tie holes. I'm not complaining. Means I get to skip a bit. Install the Bowden tube into the carriage. Well, that's already done. Thank you, Rob. Sometimes needs a pair of needle nose pliers. Oop. Yeah, I don't see anywhere for zip ties there. Okay. Okay. Nuts. Install nuts. Lots of nuts. And then use it to make sure the nuts are aligned properly. Yep. Okay. 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 Right. So we are at this bit. We're not at this bit, but we are at this bit. Because we're not at this bit, because we've not done any of the wires. Oh, we've not done any wires. Why have I not done wires? Oh, jumpers. Jumpers and wires. Jumpers and wires. Jumpers and wires. Jumpers and wires. Jumpers. Jumpers. It's what happens when you follow two different build guides. Install 3 jumpers as shown to enable sensorless homing. Sure. 1. You can hardly see. There you go. Haha. Hold the thing in the right way. 2. And then, of course, number 3. Because this does sensorless homing rather than using limit switches, because it's easier, it's less to manage. I need to do that. Do I have the kit to do that right now? I don't. I'm going to have to do that off stream. Make sure the micro USB ports and thing line up. Yes, they do. I need to do this off camera because I don't have the hardware right now. As I don't know where my soldering iron is, but that's fine. I can get everything else wired in. That's not the screen I'm using. So in that case, let's go to the waffle bag. Drop it into the printer. If you have motion sickness, I apologize. There's a reason it's called a waffle bag. It's because it's got a waffle in it, which I believe was printed on a BabyBelt. Yes. Yes, it was. You can just about make out some layer lines that go diagonally at the 45 or 30 degree angles that by default these printers are set to do. That will be extruder over here. I'm hoping that these are long enough. X motor, Y motor, wrong way. It doesn't say to not put them through that gap, so I imagine I put them through that gap. I'll find out shortly. And then the SKR Mini E3 V3 has 2 points for the Z, but we don't need 2. We just need 1. Yeah, that reaches. And then Z goes to Z, which is over here. If I get the cable the right way around. Nope, third time. Third time of trying. And go on. Go on. No? And this way? You want to go this way? You want to go this way? Yeah, that's it. You want it to go that way. Ta-da! So, what are people's plans for today? What have you got going on, Josh? After this, I'm going to be hunting for my soldering iron to get these cables done properly, because this isn't properly. Followed by building my new desk, because my desk has turned up. Finally got a sit-stand desk so that I can do this standing up rather than sitting down. Funny how that works. Ah, yep, that makes sense. It's unfortunate, Josh, but it makes sense. Belt tensioners were done. It's the plan game in the morning. I don't. Ooh, make some filament. Is this still? So this is your ArtMay 3D by not ArtMay. I can't remember the name. I want to say, yeah. I don't remember who you bought your ArtMe kit through. Sorry. Is it just PLA stuff still, or are you going to try a go at PET? That's because I want to know if that will work. I don't. I imagine it would. I imagine it would work. But that's one of those fantastic questions, isn't it? Extruding PET filament at home. Triangle Labs and just PLA. Okay. How's it treating you? How is it treating you? Is it behaving as it should be? Right, we've done the X garage. Let's go back down to yep. We need the no heated bed. So we have got no heated bed on ours because I'm lazy. But then at the same time, I feel like I need wiring. Or is it gantry that I need first? What do I need to do first? Gantry. Actually install the gantry. Gantry completion. Let's go back to where it was. Screw there, screw there, screw there, screw there. Not screw, nut. Nut, 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 nut. Goose. No one's running? Okay. Fine. Don't play nut, nut, goose. I'm not upset. It's fine. Where have I put them? Because that's a non-resealable bag, and that's not the ones that I want to use. There they are. One, two, three, and four. And then we get the gantry. We get the gantry, we put the gantry onto the frame somewhere here. And then it says M3 by 20 and do not tighten completely. Two of those. So we go une or not. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do. Sorry, I'm focusing right now because I want to make sure I'm actually doing something. Here it's actually duck, duck, goose. Yes, well it's duck, duck, goose here too, but I was looking for nuts. So I said nut, 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 goose. See? Being silly. The flat tone of my speech is great today. Absolutely fantastic. Very enthralling, very interesting. I mean, there's 6 people here right now, and I feel sorry for all of you. Why would you do this to yourselves? Why? Please tell me. M2, there we go. Give up. AC bound in the basement, like most of the afternoon. Yes. But that's because you're avoiding plants, because plants don't like you at the moment. And thank you, Josh. It's appreciated to know that you love me. So don't tighten it all the way. So then it should pivot. Yes, it does. Haha. We need to figure out drying and what type of virgin pellets to get. Would this be for specifically PET extrusion on the Artme? Or is this just in general? It's nice to use. Oh, okay. Right. Do, do, do. Here we go again. Screw it down, but don't tighten it all the way. There we go. That sounds great. Right. Heated bed. Oh. XYZE. Yeah, 24 volt. Nice. Bed. Hot end. Parts fan. Hot end fan. Jumpers needed. Hot end thermistor. Bed thermistor. Well, let's figure this out, because I feel like I'm going to have to extend this parts cooling fan wire. Yeah, that's going to need extending. This, I imagine this is thermistor, and that's heater cartridge, and then that one is the hot end fan. Hot end, parts cooling, orange is thermistor, that's heater. So I can run this one through the hole. There we go, and I can plug that in. No, that'll be hot end thermistor because it's got a connector on it. Come on, Doug, you silly goose. And hot end thermistor is all the way on this corner over here. And Viduko, thank you. Thank you for your support. Genuinely, thank you. Right. That goes in there. That goes in there. Nice. I don't feel... Yeah. This wire that Rob's done is the hot end heater cartridge. So let's just scroll up to the bamboo hot end and let's just make sure, because it's running off of here, I believe. Yes, this orange wire is running off of this white wire here. So let's have a search for the Bamboo Labs hot end. There. Yes. Bamboo Labs hot end diagram. Let's go images. Wow, such descriptive. Let's try again. Let's go for hot end wiring. I can type hot end wiring. A1 series hot end wiring. Chimera hot end. That's not a Chimera hot end, surely. Yeah, the white one here is the ceramic heater pack thing. So yes, that is indeed, this orange wire is indeed the heater, which I now get to put into, I believe it's the one on the right. Hot end, yes, nice. So we take this, run it through here, try not to pinch other wires as I pull it through. And then, where did I put you? That's not it. Here it is. feral kit, because I have a feral kit. Because ferals are good. We like ferals because ferals mean that you're not just putting in generic bare wire into a connector and running the risk of it loosening after several heat cycles. That's why we like ferals. Because, as I just said, they provide a better surface for the press friction connector to press onto, and it makes it safer. And we like safe things. And I'm sure we all agree that we all like to be safe. As I try and strip a wire using the wrong tool. Because, hey, you know. And yes, another art may Josh for playing with PET would be very cool. Having an art me in general would be very cool. Ow. Ow. But unsafe generates views. Yes. While unsafe generates views, it's negative views. At least that would be my opinion, that it's negative views. Don't do a creality and don't tin the wires as you put them into the connectors. Into these over here on the diagram. I did know what they're called, but I don't remember now. You put the ferrule onto the wire and then you crimp. And as far as I'm aware, you also don't twist into the ferrule. In it goes. Crunch. Is that ferrule too small? No. Good. In it goes. Push it down. And crimp. Give it a little pull. Yep, that's on. Superb. Superb. Never knew her. Sorry. Now let's find in the box a little flathead. Because I have a little flathead screwdriver. Or I did. I do. Unscrew. Little connectors on the main board. Hot ends, I believe, don't care as to polarity. I'm going to be wrong on that, but I don't know the polarity on this. Josh, can you confirm hot ends don't care about polarity? Or is it thermistors that don't care? Because if I was Rob, I would have done ground as the both. Both don't care. Hot end. So one of you says hot end, one of you says both. Which is it? Fight to the death. Don't fight to the death. There's paperwork involved. Reliance just says yes. No, that is not biting for some reason. Why didn't I do this before I put the board in? I only know about the hot end. Come on. Come on. Open sesame. Put the thing, the little ferruled end in, and then tighten it down. And move your hand out of the way, and then the little ferruled end comes out. Right. Come on. No. What am I doing wrong here? Other than trying to show this on camera and getting all of my meats in the way. Both are resistive loads. Okay. See, I would only be concerned personally about getting the polarity right on a DC heated bed. But then again, they come with the wire pre-attached, unless you've got a very, very, very good soldering iron. Yeah. I worked out what I was doing wrong. You need to put it in at the top of the hole and then clamp it. There you go. Ta-da! Right, that's on. Well, that's in. So we've got that. We've got the... They are also resistive. Yes. See, it's something that I need to learn, and I need to know it if I'm doing stuff like this, because I don't want to give the wrong information. Because then it falls on my head if somebody gets hurt, or I feel like it falls on my head if somebody gets hurt. Oh, hello, Mr. Matt German. How are you doing? But yes, so that is the hot end wired in. So, as I've said, unfortunately, I am going to have to extend the fan wires off camera because I don't have my soldering iron to hand. That would be the hot end. That's the hot end wired up. That's the thermistor. That's the thermistor and the actual heating element wired up. X and Y. Oops, sorry. Let's pull this wire here. This wire here goes. That's Y. And Y is the top one. Oh, have I made a boo-boo by putting the motor this way? I believe I have. Oop, sorry. Get the motor plugged in. Come on, hands. Work with me here. Nope. Wrong way. This way. Yes. Does that reach? Will that reach? Let's undo the zip ties because it's now fastened in place. Because I'm not likely to... No, I'm not saying it. You can't make me say it. I'm not saying it. I am not going to say that I'm unlikely to now lose bearings that I've fastened the gantries in place. Because I will say that and then it will go wrong. Oh my gosh, get out. There's one. There's two. Do we keep all of the range of motion to the far side? Oh, it's snug. That is snug. I don't like that. That feels a bit too tight to me. Does that feel a bit tight to anybody else? Yeah. Whoopsies. Oh, jeez. Okay. Well, that means I need to take that motor off and rotate it. Ah, I don't want to do that. You can't make me. You cannot make me. I refuse. I refuse. I refuse. You can't make me. Because that means... Oh. No. No. No, it's not the stream for this week. I'm carrying on. I'm going to see how far I can get before I need to crack out the soldering iron. Because the other thought is I just rotate this motor 90 degrees, like it shows, well, it's rotated 90 degrees the opposite direction in the build guide. So if I put this into here, and let's just remove tension and just unplug that for a moment. If I, yeah, see there's a lot more forgiveness on that one. Why am I doing this to myself? Because I like you guys. You guys are great. Yes, Lasai. Right, close the lid on the ferrules so I don't lose them. Okay, let's just pretend. Let's pretend it's in place. Let's pretend. Okay. Okay, can we pretend? Do we agree that we're pretending? We'll have a similar but separate set of wires. Okay, cool. Cool. Oh, hotbed wiring. That should be flopped towards the back of the printer. Well, I don't have a hotbed, but I understand what you're getting to. Yeah. Wait a minute. Do I recognize that one? That? No, this bed is not that bed. Push the roller from both sides. Okay. I can't do that bit yet, but I can pretend. Ooh, smart filament sensor. I need one. And a cable sleeve. I have some cable sleeve. More cable sleeve. Oh, that's a Pi 3? Is that a Pi 3? Well, Pi 3 or Pi 4. Okay. 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 Let's do some nonsense engineering a moment. Let's just pretend that we've got things in place. Because, you know, that's what we do. We pretend. I'm not pretending. Not all the time, just some of the time. So that would go there, which that's too, that Bowden tube is too long. That needs trimming down. And then we get this wire and this wire that would run alongside the Bowden. So if that's realistically the length of limit, then that's limited as well. Okay. I'm saying words. How much of it is making sense? The thermistor wire is the one that's we're limited with in terms of length, so we'll operate from this one. In which case, take the Bowden out after you put it in place. Or don't. Or don't take the Bowden. Don't take the Bowden, because you don't know what you're doing anymore, Doug. You're losing the plot. You're losing the plot. The moment of silence is disconcerting. People look at their screens to make sure that Doug is not gone insane. The viewers react with laughing emojis in the chat to indicate that while they are concerned, they're not perturbed at his monologuing. And then I knock the camera again, for goodness sake. Am I at a point where I think I am at a point where I don't have my soldering iron, I don't know where it is. So, like, I believe the list of stuff that I need to get done would be along the lines of boop, boop, boop. Time to swear and look for something else and instant find it after the stream. Yes, that does happen. I'm not going to do it, but I need to write down a list of the stuff that I need to do. So, that list is a notepad file, because notepad is the best. Outsourced responsibility, folks. We need to find soldering iron. Screw it. I'm writing all in capitals. Find soldering iron. Add wire to power switch. Wire up power switch. Plus 24 volt. We need to extend hot end fan and heat break fan. Heat break fan wires. What else do we need to do? What else do we need to do? I'm scrolling the build guide as if you can see it when you can't. Sorry. Right, there we go. Now you can see the build guide. So I need to extend the hot end fan wire, extend the part cooling fan wire, and at that point, once I've got the power plugged in, we will then be at configuration stage, right? That sounds about right. I think. You know what? I think we are at a good place. I really do. I'm happy to be wrong, but I think we're at a reasonable point. Because we've got the thermistor and the heat block installed. They're wired up. We're not running a heated bed, so we don't need to worry about that. Oh, rotate the Y motor. Yeah, rotate the Y motor. Or just use a different wire. No, rotate the motor. It'll look nicer. What do we think? is that the last things we need to do? Aside from firmware nonsense. I think that's it. Which, I'll do the soldering off camera, because I don't want to burn myself. Because we all know I'll burn myself. And then next week, we can actually have it printing. And then we can try... Oh, what's his name? Harrier Pigeon Orca Slicer. Yep. Orca Slicer. Has his thing been put in yet? Nope. GitHub Orca Slicer. Okay. Thank you for joining, Viduko. It has been great to have you here. So, yeah. A community member within the within the BabyBelt Discord, known as Harrier Pigeon, has been adding belt slicing to Orca Slicer. But it's a case of, can I find it? Belt printer support for Orca Slicers. BabyBelt. Where is Harrier Pigeon? Refuse non-essential keys. Of course. Of course. It's not going to show up. Why would it show up? Because otherwise we are using Idea Maker, I want to say. I can't find what I'm looking for. Why would I be able to find what I'm looking for? No, I can't find it. Oh well. The point remains. The point remains. We have got not a lot left to do. And that's terrifying. That is terrifying. But hey, it is what it is. Which says to me that next week we can have it printing. And in that case, I hope you're around to experience it. Those last finishing touches and getting it printing. Well, configured, slicer file, and then printing. Yeah, that should be fun. Which I think, yes, a very bold claim, and yes, let's see. But I think that bold claim is where the stream should end today. And you lot will need to prove me wrong next week. So, yeah. Yeah. Thank you, everybody who has turned up today and popped through and said hello and other fun things like 24/7 Hinky. Thank you for showing up. Like, I'm happy that you found this stream and enjoyed your time, I would hope. Matt German, thank you for showing up as well. That's a pleasant surprise. And then we've got the usual suspects of Josh, Herzl, and Reliance. You're all mental, and I love you. yeah, we'll see how far we get next week. And hopefully, it's printing. Cheerio.